After tonight, I guess you could say that Balor's time in the Capitol Wrestling Center is finished. Yeah! In all honesty, Kross will be carrying the NXT Championship for a while. Okay, enough of the bad visual gags. I'm John Rickman with my review of WWE NXT, a show that has some good moments and also has some times where I was thinking, why in the fuck is this on the show? There was also a bit of it was a bit of a mixed bag, but man, that main event really did establish Karrion Kross as being the guy to carrying on the legacy of the NXT Championship. Yeah, I'm going to keep shoehorning these puns in because it's what I do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We get recaps of the hype package from last week, the prime target of Balor and Kross, and then we are greeted by Poppy's opening. Poppy's opening, welcomes us all. Have fun in seeing that, have fun seeing that, have fun interpreting that however you want. So the announcers run down the card, and Beth is excited about Ember and Shotzi stripping down and getting back to basics. I think I may have misunderstood a word from that, but you know what? Whatever. So we get Ember and Shotzi versus Raquel and Dakota, and the winners face the tag champs later, seemingly a takeover in your house, which is in less than 2 weeks. They really aren't doing a whole lot to hype up this takeover. That being said, I think it will be pretty good. But man, this is just like a shoehorned in takeover where it's probably going to be like, the work rate's probably going to be good, despite the build that's been kind of meh or non-existent in the case of the fact, oh yeah, it's in less than 2 fucking weeks. Great job building that takeover. Anyway, so the pace was good. Of course, whenever Raquel was in the ring, she would use her power, and there was some really good stuff. So naturally, Ember and Shotzi would target Dakota, and her pink streak went across the camera. And we all celebrated. Hooray! So anybody celebrates a nice New Zealand pink streak happening on camera. I don't even know what I'm on about anymore. So, this was given some time. There was a bit of a melee. I did like how Ember got, a bit of a almost reverse sharpshooter seemingly, and got, a bit of a, she was just like jacking the jaw. She was just like pulling on Dakota's face. She was trying to get an STF. It was a better STF than Cena's ever pulled off. And, basically we get like, some kind of assisted cutter, 1, 2, 3. So Dakota gets pinned naturally. Of course, she was going to get pinned because Raquel is the current NXT Women's Champion. And then Raquel gloms both of them and then basically says, hey, Dakota, tell Ember to watch this. I want her to watch this. She wants women to watch her bash another woman. She likes when Dakota and her pink watches her bash another woman into the wall and into the post and into the wall. Raquel was disappointed she couldn't throw Shotzi over the wall, so she threw her into the wall. If you get it, you get it. So this wasn't bad. Pretty nice way to start off the show. And then we have Ciampa and Thatcher talking about, having their path deviated from the NXT Tag Team Championships for a bit because, oh yeah, they took their eye off the ball and grizzled young veterans caught them, and there will be a third match, and Thatcher says he's going to break their limbs. And they throw chairs, because why wouldn't you? So anyway, we get Bobby Fish. Boy, I know that Bobby Fish has had a lot of injuries, and man, that just totally gills me. How much fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish? However that fucking went, that was back when they really made Pete Dunne as entertaining as it could possibly be, being the Steve Blackman to Matt Riddle's Al Snow, if you will. Though Matt Riddle has more of a personality than Al Snow ever will. But anyway, enough of that. I don't really care that much about Bobby Fish anymore. He's a fine worker, of course, his beliefs, and if you fucking know, you know. He minded his P's and Q's, especially his fucking Q's here. I think Bobby Fish has been dropped on his head a few too many times. And Bobby Fish, I know that he's rehabbed from a lot of injuries, and I know that not everybody can stay in, phenomenal shape for their entire career. But it didn't seem like Bobby really tried to get in good shape for this because he was winded. And I know it was his first match back, and I get it. But I think he is a lot, closer to being done than he was even, before the injury. Like, seriously, he just seems like he's totally wiped out. He's probably going to be a coach within a year. Because he's been with WWE for, nearly 4 years, and he spent at least 1.5 years to nearly 2 years on the shelf. Mark Henry and Rey Mysterio take their hats off to you. So, I don't know. There was one funny line. Dunn has been grinding on Fish this entire match, and now Fish is giving it back to him. Oh my. Yeah, Fish did some good submissions, some submissions, if you will. But Dunn was having to carry this stuff. He did some good submissions there. Hit the bitter end, 1, 2, 3. It wasn't bad. And then Lorcan gloms him, and we get another beatdown because we have to have another aftermath. So why the hell not? And Bobby Fish's tricep gets focused on. There's probably a way for Fish and O'Reilly to, basically reform Red Dragon, if you will. And, under the WWE banner. So who knows if it's going to be any good. We'll have to see. I don't know. I didn't really care about this because I've kind of lost sympathy for Bobby Fish, because you can only see somebody come back, go away, come back, go away so much before you're just like, I don't care anymore. So anyway, we then get Mercedes saying that she will, get back to the championship, and then Boa in a very constricting jacket in a constricting hallway. Man, I'm snaking these puns in. He's just watching, what the hell's going on here? Meanwhile, I'm sure the Grudge Ghost was getting really high. Okay, so Hit Row, Skid Hit Row. I kid. Swerve's group just sounds better. Hit Row just doesn't really do it for me. It's like a bad Saints Row DLC. They won all the gold. I think I didn't really care because outside of Swerve, I don't really have a reason to buy into this group. I'm not saying they're bad, I just don't really have a reason to buy into this group. You need to give me more of a reason to care. Mercedes versus Zeta Ramir. Zeta Ramir is the woman that shockingly beat Toni Storm a few weeks ago. Wasn't bad. Zeta does have something. She really seriously does. I would like to see, how she'll progress over the next year or two. Mercedes beats her with an air raid crash in a few minutes. Now we get lights out and we get the Grudge Ghost smoke, and it's a 1,000-year-old woman that made a deal with a dragon for wealth and power, and it just cost her soul. I can't get over that. And oh, by the way, when lights come back on, Mercedes is marked with some, black ash. It's like they took a piece of charcoal used from a barbecue and said, here, writing on hand. That looks vaguely Chinese. Why not? Who is this for? I don't know. And I like Xia Li, but this isn't doing anything for Xia Li either. So Ted DiBiase then tosses money at Stones' group and leaves. I don't know why he did that. Oh wait, he's $1 million man. He just tosses money at the problem. And apparently, a couple members of his family like to embezzle money because, some religious organizations shouldn't fucking exist. If you know, you know. DiBiase and Grimes have $1 million face-off. Grimes basically talks about how money didn't basically buy happiness, never meet your idols, because Ted DiBiase just, wore down on him and mocked him and everything. Well, yeah, Grimes, you've been acting like an idiot, and Ted DiBiase did it first. I'm not even saying it's Grimes' fault, but just the presentation. Ted DiBiase is out there to find one individual that embodies $1 million man spirit, and LA Knight, thank God, is here to fucking save this, because I haven't really cared for this Grimes DiBiase stuff. Nobody asks, all you incels. Okay, well, whatever, cutting right to the goddamn bone, but I love LA Knight, great promo, really good work. And then, Grimes is upset at him, says, I'm going to kick your ass to the moon. Now LA Knight lays him out with his finish, and whatever it's called. And then Ted says, well, you just don't get, and they leave together. I guess it's going to be Grimes fighting for the affection of Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase on a pole match coming up. Vince Russo has struck again. Indy is looking for Dexter in all the wrong places because she can't find him. She interrupts an Everrise press conference, show, whatever. I don't know why I'm supposed to care about Everrise. I don't have anything against him, but why? And Drake also says, hey, leave this woman alone. Indy, he's in that room. That's the last time I saw him 2 hours ago. This room that only has one door. And she goes in there, and then it's just a bunch of, caricatures, and I assume drawings that he did of her, her cutting his heart out because she called him a loser while he was giving her a facial, at that, spa, whatever the hell it was. Giving her a big old facial, and Indy was just lack of heart. Well, she just didn't care, and she was all upset. But no, he truly does love her, and now she's trying to get his affections back. Oh, Dexter, and it's pretty sad. This is the best storyline that NXT has going. A silly thing with, drawings and a guy that doesn't blink. And Indy, who, my God, is a real fucking star. There was less of the way on this show. That's probably why I enjoyed it a little bit more. Anyway, so I did like the drawings, though. Very good stuff. Frankie Monet makes her debut. The former Taya Valkyrie versus Cora Jade, the former Elena Black. So many formers here. It was a showcase for Frankie. She hits the Glam Slam, and Beth says, that looks familiar. Wouldn't mind seeing them take on each other at maybe the TakeOver in August when they're going to be hopefully in front of a crowd. And I think Cora Jade has a very bright future. But I love Taya Valkyrie. Got to meet her at the first ever indie show I went to. Super nice, really hard worker. And I'm so happy to see the success she's gotten. And she's doing some really good stuff. And it was a good showcase for her. Grizzled Young Veterans are soon to be rectimized as champion. I think that's how that goes. But the typical stuff that they say. And then Walter was talking to the two members of Imperium that aren't Alexander Wolf because he got, kicked out of the group and out of the company. So he says to Eichner and Bartel on apparently the first ever microphone created because it was so goddamn tinny. He says, hey, we need to take over. We need to basically get the tag titles back, get gold back. And speaking of gold, Bronson Reed, the new North American champion, is here to celebrate, talking about 14 years to get to this moment. And, well, I had a mountain to climb. You have a colossal mountain to climb. Okay, fine. And, by the way, don't take no for an answer. Grind it out. Also the Matt Riddle philosophy. And then Legoland Phantasm shows up, and Escobar basically talks about, you brought tears to my thighs. That's why the Kleenex was there. And then he runs them down, for having the championship. Talks about Mexico and, the U.S. being part of North America and everything. And Wild says, what about Canada? Canada doesn't count. We talked about this. To be fair, boy, that's going to get me a whole lot of hate, because not only is Bret Hart my favorite wrestler of all time, but goddamn, there are so many Canadian people that follow. I love you, Canada. My grandpa was Canadian. Please don't kill me. Please don't. It was MSK runs out, and we're getting a 6-man tag seemingly next week, or at the pay-per-view. I don't have a goddamn clue. Whew. Yeah, that was okay. I mean, Escobar does have star quality. I have a hard time caring about some of these because they're all repetitive. Regal says O'Reilly, Gargano, and Dunn are going to face off next week in 3-way. The winner faces a champion at TakeOver, which is likely going to be O'Reilly, and then he's going to lose, and they're going to build a redemption storyline. MSK versus Legoland Phantasm next week for the tag titles. Balor versus Kross, NXT title. Good stuff. Good showcase for Kross. Balor gave him everything, kept giving him everything, kept giving it to him repeatedly. Lost my train of thought. Man, both these guys just kept slapping each other repeatedly, striking each other down. Brutal fistings from behind. Brutal chokes from behind. So many moves from behind. You would think that you were watching a different kind of wrestling that I did see online once by mistake. Always delete your search history. Balor does, target like the knees and ribs and stuff like that. I don't know what's going on, but Kross basically just dominates, throws him across the ring, if you will, and targets the back. And there was cool where Balor hits a cool spot where Balor hits a dive, and then Kross rises up high, and then it's just such a shame that Kross is also Aquarian Kross, if you will. It's a real shame that people are that goddamn stupid and believe that goddamn conspiracy theory bullshit. But yeah, the announcer's table bump. Oh, I dropped him. And then missed coup de grace, and Balor didn't roll this time because he was just exhausted. And Saito suplex, fistings from behind by both guys. Rear naked choke, but then into the triangle, but nope. Choke from behind, and Balor passes out, and that's it. Karrion Kross continues to be the most cross-bearing champion in NXT history, and Balor is likely going to go to SmackDown and lose to Roman Reigns at, SummerSlam. Or he shows up in the Money in the Bank ladder match and wins it, and then cashes in on Bobby Lashley. Or he goes back and cashes in on Kross. Actually, he should go cash in on Walter. Do that. Why not? Now, this wasn't a bad show, but it wasn't a great show. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.